Welcome to System 12. This is going to be weeks 1 through 12 of the finger gymnastics. You know, always these finger gymnastics are sort of nonsensical musical exercises, really to develop finger strength, independence, things like that. And hopefully those are helpful to you. Hopefully they've been a little bit of fun too. Some of them are very difficult, and you know, hopefully it'll help you to be able to move your fingers in ways that maybe you normally wouldn't move your fingers, which is always a good thing. What we're going to do through this system is we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of picking everything, we're going to do a legato exercise. Now, legato playing simply means you're doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, so that when you're playing, you know, you can move a lot faster. Like, I could never pick something like that. Now, there's probably guys that can, you know, the Mateus Asados or Al Di Meolos or something that can pick their way through just about anything. But even, you know, the great players like Guthrie Govan uses this legato technique, even though he's got, you know, more than capable right hand to be able to play just about anything. But a lot of the players, you know, when you hear, for instance, Alan Holdsworth or Scott Henderson or Tom Quayle, some of these true greats, really brilliant players, they're using a lot of legato technique. You know, Alan Holdsworth is arguably one of the best guitar players of the 20th century, and almost everything that he did was legato technique. You could probably remove his right hand for a half a song and he wouldn't even notice for a little bit, because he was so good with his left hand in making sounds. And one thing that he was able to do is he was able to make all 4 fingers sound equally. Like, if you notice, my first finger does not, and that's common for most guitar players. Also, distortion helps a lot on this. If you're playing, you know, a clean guitar, that's going to be a lot harder to pull off. If you're playing a jazz guitar with some higher action and heavier gauge strings, it's going to be a lot more difficult to pull this off. So if you have some lighter strings, you know, 10 gauge or below, and good action on your guitar, it'll really help you. All right, well, let's jump right into the exercise. It's going to be a difficult exercise in some ways, but let me walk you through it first, and then I'll talk through some of the difficulties of it. All right, so first of all, we're going to be in like a 4-fret set on our, so almost like that first system that we did. But what we're going to do is we're going to pick, and we're just going to pick the first note. And then we're going to go through all the iterations of first finger being rooted. Okay, so, and then you pull off, and then you pull off, and then you pull off, and you pull off again. Okay, so this is what we got so far. Now, when I do that, you'll notice I'm hammering on, and when I pull off, I'm actually pulling down a little bit to make that string sound a little bit. And that's a pretty good exercise in itself. You know, if you're just sitting there doing nothing, that's not a bad exercise to do. It doesn't really help your first finger. I think if Holdsworth was telling you to do this, he would say actually finger the first finger. But we're going to do something where we're picking that first note. So, and then I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to start on my second finger, and I'm going to do a pull off. Okay. I think that one's a really hard one. If you did that for a while, that's second and third finger, they do not like to work together well, and they sort of point together, so it's very difficult to do. So that'll be the second part. So far we got this, or we have this, and then pick, and then we're going to do third finger, and then I'm going to pull off again. So basically, on this one I have, and then this one, I'm pulling off, okay? So, first one, pick, and then pick. Now, one of the keys to this is you don't want it to sound like this. You want it to, so you not be able to really tell where that pick is. And if you have a little bit more distortion on, it makes it a little bit easier, compresses your sound, you don't hear those. Then you're going to take that same thing and you're going to go up a half step. Up a half step. And so on. You'll take it all the way up to the octave. Sorry. And it gets hard up in the octave, and my brain also froze up. And then I'm going to cross over to the next string. You're going to do the exact same. And so on. You'll take it all the way down to the B flat, then you're going to cross strings again. Take that up chromatically, cross over to the A flat. It gets easier on the unwound strings. Take it all the way down to the A flat, up to the C. All the way chromatically up to C. Then from the F note. And so on all the way down to the F note. And that'll be the exercise. So again, F up to F, B flat down to B flat, E flat up to E flat, A flat down to A flat, C up to C, and F all the way chromatically down to C. And your fingers will start to burn when you do this, especially when you're in those second, third iterations. And if you're doing it clean, it's a lot harder to make it sound right. But I'd recommend trying it clean. Try to play clean or even without an amplifier on. But if your hand starts to burn too much, stop, shake it out, get some blood into it. That's a really important thing. You don't want to do any damage to your hand. And you probably wouldn't from this, but you'll definitely feel the burn on it. And hopefully it'll help you to be able to play a little bit more legato stuff at the end of the exercise.